Lesson 11: Environment and its balance. Environmental balance refers to the presence of all creatures in the environment. There isn't any possibility of existence of all creatures without environmental aspects. All the environmental components like air, water, land are equally important for all the creatures. Water is needed to produce crops, land is needed for smooth survival of animals and plants. The foods that are needed for animals and birds are obtained from environment. On the other hand, animals take in oxygen and throw out carbon dioxide, and plants take in carbon dioxide and throw out oxygen. This process has also helped to maintain environmental balance. There is interactive relationship among the plants and animals. This relation is a major factor for environmental balance. For example, most of the birds depend on insects for their food, and insects live on grass, fruits, flowers, etc. The importance and necessity of environmental balance. There is a great importance of environmental balance because the existence of one is not possible without existence of another. It has become possible for all to exist in the environment due to maintenance of environmental balance. The living beings and non-living things are equally responsible to maintain balance in the environment. Herbivorous animals eat fruits, grass and leaves. Carnivorous animals live on herbivorous animals. Types of natural resources. The resources such as coal, oil, forests, etc. existing in nature are called natural resources. These are not made or caused by human beings. Land, air, water, forests and so on are natural resources. These natural resources are affected by rapid population growth. These are degrading and disappearing day by day due to overpopulation. It is necessary to maintain a balance between population and natural resources for the benefit of both human beings and the environment. Importance and necessity of water sources, watersheds and wetlands. Water sources. No living beings can survive without water. Water is used for different purposes like drinking, washing, irrigation, generation of electricity, mobilization of industries and trades, etc. Nepal is a landlocked country. It has no direct access to the oceans, but it is rich in water sources. It is the country full of rivers and rivulets. There are more than 6,000 rivers and rivulets in Nepal. The major sources of water in Nepal are glaciers, rivers, ponds, lakes, springs, etc. The proper use of water sources makes the life easy and helps to improve the living standard of the people. Watersheds. The watershed is an area where there is a runoff water towards the major rivers, streams or lakes. In the watershed, all running water of stream flows in different directions. It is called river system. There are different watersheds in Nepal like Trisali watershed, Kulakani watershed, Shivapuri watershed, Marshangi watershed, Aran watershed, etc. Wetlands. The swamps or the land consisting of marshes are called wetlands. These lands are always submerged underwater. So, a wetland is an area of land that is saturated with water. Nepal is rich in wetland area. The natural wetlands in Nepal are snow-fed lakes, pools, swamps, rivers, streams, flood-prone area, damp area, etc. Similarly, few man-made wetlands like water reservoir area, ponds, barrage, canals for irrigation are also exist in Nepal. According to IUCN survey, there are 163 in Terai, 164 in Heli and 78 Himalayan wetland areas have been recorded in Nepal. The wetland is the best habitat for birds and a very important part of ecosystem. Depletion of natural resources. Man is an integral part of environment. There is intimate relationship between man and environment. Man uses natural resources and conduct various activities in the environment for his survival and development. When natural resources are overexploited, environment gets imbalanced. The process of natural balance is disturbed. As a result, environmental degradation takes place. Natural disasters occur due to unmanaged urbanization and industrialization. Pollution will increase, which has adverse effect on human health as well as environment. 1. Control of rapid population growth. Rapid population growth is the main cause of environmental degradation. To fulfill the increasing demand of food, shelter, clothing and other facilities, human beings overuse the environmental resources which leads to environmental imbalance. Therefore, it is necessary to check the unnecessary growth of population by adopting various measures. 2. Conservational use of natural resources. Land, air, water, forests are important natural resources available in the environment. Without using these resources we cannot survive. However, when we overuse these resources without conserving them, it disturbs the natural ecosystem. So, we should use the resources wisely and conduct various conservation activities to maintain their originality. 3. Afforestation Program. Forests plays important role to maintain environmental balance. It absorbs carbon dioxide and release oxygen. It provides food and shelter to numerous animals. It helps to check landslides and soil erosion. It helps to control global warming, climate change, desertification, etc. Therefore, trees should be planted in barren lands, slope hills, etc. to maintain environmental balance. 4. Use of alternative sources of fuel. Mineral oil, coal, petroleum, etc. are in limited quantity in the earth. Overuse of these fuels leads to energy crisis in future. Also, these fuels pollute the environment. So, we should reduce their use and seek for alternative sources such as solar energy, wind power, biogas, etc. 5. Environmental sanitation. Environment should be neat and clean. Polluted environment harms the life of both aquatic and terrestrial creatures. It has an adverse effect on human health as well. So, we should keep surroundings clean. We should manage the garbage and sewage to protect the health of all living beings. 6. Public awareness. Public awareness creates consciousness and self-responsibility among people. It helps to make people realize their role for environmental balance. It also helps to increase the participation of people for environmental conservation. So, public awareness should be raised among mass by conducting various formal and informal programs. 7. Planned urbanization. The urbanization is essential for the development of a country. The new cities have to be established in the unfertile land so that natural resources are used in a planned way. Solid waste management. One of the best ways of practicing environment-friendly behavior is the proper disposal of wastes, which is very much helpful for environment conservation. The environmental degradation is caused by sewage and garbage produced from households, hospitals, factories, schools, etc. It is very important to manage the wastes properly to conserve the environment. The biodegradable waste should be changed into compost manure, and the non-biodegradable solid waste should be managed properly. Reduce. Reduce means to minimize the amount of waste we create by the less use of materials in daily life. We can minimize the production of waste materials that can cause harms to the environment by reducing their use. We need to develop the habit of using and purchasing less things so that their uses is reduced. When their use decreases, then obviously their production also decreases. For example, if you develop the habit of using less plastics, its demand decreases and pollutes less. Reuse. Reuse means using a material again and again. When a single material is used for many times, it decreases its necessity, and its production will decrease. Finally, it is produced less and minimizes the effect on the environment. Reusing is the act of taking old items that you might consider throwing away and finding a new use for them. Recycle. This is probably the most well-known and well understood of the 3 Rs. Recycle means making a new product by using the waste materials as raw material. If you have seen recycling pickup services, you will be familiar with recycling papers, plastic, and metal materials. These materials are carefully processed in industry. The separated and processed materials will later be processed into other goods. Glasses and plastics can be recycled to make new products in the industries. Various metal utensils can be melted and molded into another vessel after their breakage. Old clothes can be recycled and used to make mattresses, etc.